Welcome to my channel. My channel is about everything that I can think of. It is about tutorial and educating people. It also touch about financial and traveling. It is a channel wherein all kinds of people can watch and learn. COVID-19 vaccines will be an important tool to help stop this pandemic. Before I will explain what is the COVID-19 vaccine, I will explain the immune system first. So you will have a better understanding how the vaccines were developed. Vaccines were developed for the purpose of preventing diseases that can be dangerous, or even deadly. Vaccines greatly reduce the risk of infection by working with the body's natural defenses to safely develop immunity to disease. I will explain to you how the body fights infection or illness, and how vaccines work to protect people by producing immunity. To understand how vaccines work, it helps to first look at how the body fights illness. When germs, such as bacteria or viruses, invade the body, they attack and multiply. This invasion, called an infection, is what causes illness. The immune system uses several tools to fight infection. Blood contains red blood cells, for carrying oxygen to tissues and organs, and white or immune cells, for fighting infection. These white cells consist primarily of macrophages, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. Macrophages are white blood cells that swallow up and digest germs, plus dead or dying cells. The macrophages leave behind parts of the invading germs called antigens. The body identifies antigens as dangerous and stimulates antibodies to attack them. B lymphocytes are defensive white blood cells. They produce antibodies that attack the antigens left behind by the macrophages. T lymphocytes are another type of defensive white blood cell. They attack cells in the body that have already been infected. The first time the body encounters a germ, it can take several days to make and use all the germ-fighting tools needed to get over the infection. After the infection, the immune system remembers what it learned about how to protect the body against that disease. The body keeps a few T lymphocytes, called memory cells, that go into action quickly if the body encounters the same germ again. When the familiar antigens are detected, B lymphocytes produce antibodies to attack them. How the vaccines work. Vaccines help develop immunity by imitating an infection. This type of infection, however, almost never causes illness, but it does cause the immune system to produce T lymphocytes and antibodies. Sometimes, after getting a vaccine, the imitation infection can cause minor symptoms, such as fever. Such minor symptoms are normal and should be expected as the body builds immunity. Once the imitation infection goes away, the body is left with a supply of memory, T lymphocytes, as well as B lymphocytes that will remember how to fight the disease in the future. However, it typically takes a few weeks for the body to produce T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes after vaccination. Therefore, it is possible that a person infected with a disease just before or just after vaccination could develop symptoms and get a disease. Because the vaccine has not had enough time to provide protection. How COVID-19 vaccines work. COVID-19 vaccines help our bodies develop immunity to the virus that causes COVID-19 without us having to get the illness. Different types of vaccines work in different ways to offer protection, but with all types of vaccines, The body is left with a supply of memory T lymphocytes as well as B lymphocytes that will remember how to fight that virus in the future. It typically takes a few weeks for the body to produce T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes after vaccination. Therefore, it is possible that a person could be infected with the virus that causes COVID-19 just before or just after vaccination. The person can get sick because the vaccine did not have enough time to provide protection. Sometimes after vaccination, the process of building immunity can cause symptoms, such as fever. These symptoms are normal and are a sign that the body is building immunity. Types of COVID-19 vaccines. Currently, there are 3 main types of COVID-19 vaccines that are undergoing clinical trials in the United States. Each type of vaccine prompts our bodies to recognize and protect us from the virus that causes COVID-19. mRNA vaccines contain material from the virus that causes COVID-19 that gives our cells instructions for how to make a harmless protein that is unique to the virus. After our cells make copies of the protein, they destroy the genetic material from the vaccine. Our bodies recognize that the protein should not be there and build T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes that will remember how to fight the virus that causes COVID-19 if we are infected in the future. Protein subunit vaccines include harmless pieces, proteins, of the virus that cause COVID-19 instead of the entire germ. Once vaccinated, our immune system recognizes that the proteins don't belong in the body and begins making T lymphocytes and antibodies. If we are ever infected in the future, memory cells will recognize and fight the virus. Vector vaccines contain a weakened version of a live virus. A different virus than the one that causes COVID-19 that has genetic material from the virus that causes COVID-19 inserted in it. This is called a viral vector. Once the viral vector is inside our cells, the genetic material gives cells instructions to make a protein that is unique to the virus that causes COVID-19. Using these instructions, our cells make copies of the protein. This prompts our bodies to build T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes that will remember how to fight that virus if we are infected in the future. mRNA vaccines are a new type of vaccine to protect against infectious diseases. To trigger an immune response, many vaccines put a weakened or inactivated germ into our bodies. Not with mRNA vaccines. In mRNA vaccine, they teach our cells how to make a protein, or even just a piece of a protein, that triggers an immune response inside our bodies. That immune response, which produces antibodies, is what protects us from getting infected if the real virus enters our bodies. COVID-19, mRNA vaccines give instructions for our cells to make a harmless piece of what is called the spike protein. The spike protein is found on the surface of the virus that causes COVID-19. COVID-19, mRNA vaccines are given in the upper arm muscle. Once the instructions, mRNA, are inside the immune cells, the cells use them to make the protein piece. After the protein piece is made, the cell breaks down the instructions and gets rid of them. Next, the cell displays the protein piece on its surface. Our immune systems recognize that the protein doesn't belong there and begin building an immune response and making antibodies, like what happens in natural infection against COVID-19. At the end of the process, Our bodies have learned how to protect against future infection. The benefit of mRNA vaccines, like all vaccines, is those vaccinated gain this protection without ever having to risk the serious consequences of getting sick with COVID-19. Messenger RNA vaccine, also called mRNA vaccines, are some of the first COVID-19 vaccines authorized for use in the United States. Currently, 2 vaccines are authorized and recommended to prevent COVID-19. There are 2 companies approved in the United States: Pfizer BioNTech and Moderna. Most COVID-19 vaccines require more than 1 shot. All but one of the COVID-19 vaccines that are currently in Phase 3 clinical trials in the United States use 2 shots. The first shot starts building protection. A second shot a few weeks later is needed to get the most protection the vaccine has to offer. One vaccine in Phase 3 clinical trials only needs 1 shot. Some people believe that naturally acquired immunity from having the disease itself, is better than the immunity provided by vaccines. However, natural infections can cause severe complications and be deadly. This is true even for diseases that many people consider mild, like chickenpox. It is impossible to predict who will get serious infections that may lead to hospitalization. COVID-19 vaccination will help protect you from getting COVID-19. You may have some side effects, which are normal signs that your body is building protection. These side effects may affect your ability to do daily activities, but they should go away in a few days. Common side effects are pain and swelling on the arm where you got the shot, fever, chills, tiredness and headaches throughout the rest of your body. If you have pain or discomfort, talk to your doctor about taking an over-the-counter medicine, such as ibuprofen or acetaminophen. To reduce pain and discomfort where you got the shot, apply a clean, cool, wet washcloth over the area, and use or exercise your arm. To reduce discomfort from fever, drink plenty of fluids and dress lightly. When to call the doctor. Contact your doctor or healthcare provider. If the redness or tenderness where you got the shot increases after 24 hours. If your side effects are worrying you, or do not seem to be going away after a few days. If you get a COVID-19 vaccine and you think you might be having a severe allergic reaction after leaving the vaccination site, seek immediate medical care by calling 911. Getting vaccinated is one of many steps you can take to protect yourself and others from COVID-19. Protection from COVID-19 is critically important because for some people, it can cause severe illness or death. Stopping a pandemic requires using all the tools available. Vaccines work with your immune system so your body will be ready to fight the virus if you are exposed. But even you already got the vaccine, it will not guarantee the full protection. We still have to follow the other steps, like wearing masks that covers your nose and mouth to help protect yourself and others. Stay 6 feet apart from others who don't live with you. Avoid crowds and poorly ventilated indoor spaces. Wash your hands often with soap and water. Use hand sanitizer if soap and water aren't available. These are all measures to help reduce your chance of being exposed to the virus or spreading it to others. According to the current CDC data, There are 24,288,796 cases in the United States. There are 402,603 deaths. I am not threatening you, but letting you know is the best contribution I can do to stop this pandemic as one of the frontliner. I witnessed how the patients suffer from the illness. United we can stop this pandemic. Do your share to prevent the spread of the virus. Thank you for doing your share. That's all for now. I hope you learned from my video. Press subscribe and share to support my channel. Press the bell button to be notified with my upcoming videos. Thank you.